So I feel like most of us have probably seen this now. If you haven't, go back and watch it. It is a detailed list of the poverty rates in the provinces in Canada from top 10. And the worst province in all of Canada just so happens to be Nova Scotia. And it's something that I've been talking about for a while on here, and I know there's a lot of people on here talking about the absolute ridiculousness that is Nova Scotia. We are the highest taxed province. Our minimum wage is sad compared to the housing prices as well as rental prices here that are on par with Toronto and Ontario. Yet I believe our minimum wage is only $14.50. And the average rent is probably, I'd say, anywhere from $1,600 to $3,100, depending on if you want a bachelor, a house. Pretty ridiculous though. And also, Nova Scotia Power, if you're a homeowner, is absolutely screwing us. They were recommended to only go up 2 to 3% every year, but they've completely ignored that recommendation, and now they're going up at least 7% each year. So a total of like 14% in the next couple of years. Not only that, but I just saw the other week, to make a livable wage here, you need to be making at least $22 to $23 an hour, at least, and that is bare minimum. I have been seeing multiple reports of new tent homeless communities around all of Nova Scotia, and this is due to obviously ludicrous rental prices, and the prices are only that high because of all the people coming in from the GTA buying up properties and charging GTA prices. So everybody else is jumping on board because who doesn't want to make more money? As well as absolutely ludicrous limitations on being able to get one of these rentals. I've been seeing things about, obviously, pets. Pets are huge. If you have a pet, you cannot rent. The amount of pets I've seen put up on Facebook, given back to the Humane Society, because people have been refused to continue living in an apartment or refusing to live in an apartment because they have a pet. Also, big thing in Nova Scotia here from landlords that I saw before we decided we were just gonna have to buy a house, they have breed lists for dogs. Landlords will post lists of the breeds they will not accept. And of course, the ones always on those lists at the top are Husky, Shepherd, Pit Bull. So a lot of people have been having to give up pets lately as well because they can't get a place to live. Airbnb has also been absolutely fucking us in the ass, because when we were personally looking for a house, we would see houses that were in our price range sold, and not even a week later going up for rent on Airbnb. I was just back home visiting family in Ontario, and I went to the liquor store there, and I got, I believe it was a 1.5 liter bottle of wine, two 6-packs of Black Flies, and 4 tall boys of just I think I got the Tahiti treat with vodka and the Mike's Hard Red Freeze. That was $53. If I bought that at the liquor store here in Nova Scotia, that would have been almost $100, I guarantee you. Our grocery prices are ridiculous. My husband and I just did groceries, and we just dropped almost $300, and our fridge is empty. Our freezer is somewhat full. Our pantry is empty. All we got was meat, a huge bag of potatoes, and some frozen vegetables. And that was $300. Something's gotta change Nova Scotia. I don't know what the fuck to do, but we are struggling here. I'm gonna show you my refrigerator. This is my freezer. Don't come for me. These were $5. Frozen stuff, right? This is my refrigerator. There is 1 egg left. We did not buy any eggs. There's 2 things of milk for sidekicks, because we live off of those. Cheese and condiments. Oh, and also coffee creamer, but you know. And pickles. We like pickles. And this is my pantry. We have a couple of sidekicks, some mac and cheese because it was on for 88 cents, a little bit of gravy, tomato soup, and just some random canned shit. So, I don't even want to talk about the fact that our neighbor bought her house like 3 years ago, if that, maybe 2 years ago, and she only paid $117,000, and she just sold it for $269,000, and she has done nothing to it. Also, about the renting thing, I've recently seen a couple of postings for rentals that we're not accepting young children. So, like, what are people supposed to do? We can't afford to buy a house here, so you have to rent. But the limitations, you have a kid, you have a dog, like, what the fuck are you supposed to do? And, or, you know, you're not making $23 an hour or more, so how the fuck are we supposed to live here? How the fuck are we supposed to get ahead? And half the time the emergency room's not even open, so, like, it's scary to live here. And I really don't even want to talk to the fact that we bought this house a year ago, and we have been able to afford to do literally nothing to it. Nothing. Like, our house is falling apart. We can't even put in a different source of heat other than oil because we cannot afford to. We have literally bought this house and been able to do nothing with it. It is the saddest reality of being a homeowner right now in Nova Scotia. We're being so fucked in all sorts of ways. We have no extra money. And, like, it drives us insane because we're seeing all these people who are able to buy a house and do so much to it within the first couple of years, but we have done nothing. We can't afford to do anything. So we need to change. Something needs to change. Like, seriously, this is actually fucking ridiculous. Like, so sad to live in the time that we're living in right now as a 25-year-old. And if anyone's actually wondering where all of our money is going right now, it is gas. My husband's spending about $500 a month in gas alone just because he has to go to work in Halifax every day, and we live about an hour away, so it's an hour there, an hour home, because we could not afford to buy a house or live in Halifax, so we had to move an hour away. So gas is like stupidly expensive right now. I'm only able to afford to put half a tank in every 2 weeks. So yeah, something needs to change because we can't even afford to put like a heat pump in our house because we don't have enough money for that. And we have an oil furnace, so we're probably not even going to be able to heat our home this winter time. So it feels really great. Just absolutely fantastic.